Okay, it's been a long time since I posted on YouTube, and I gotta share this because it's okay. So I have been asking God to see a vision of the throne room, and that was a long time ago. And then, so I recently had a vision of the throne room, but it wasn't the throne room. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the vision. And then after I had the vision, I went and did a bunch of research to search everything out because it's just a vision that, okay, so I'm going to tell you. So in the vision, okay, first of all, it's not a throne room. Okay, it's a throne, but it's not inside a room. What I saw was, I saw these dense, billowy white clouds, and I saw sky above it, blue sky, and I saw blue sky below it. So it was like it was floating in the air. And then I saw, from a distance, I saw these 4 huge columns that were gold, and they were like golden gold, and they went way up, kind of like a monument. And there was 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they went up and they went really high and went out like that. Kind of like an arch. And they were kind of pointed, and then down about 1/3 of the way, they were connected at the top, and it kind of looked like a giant crown, but only a crown with 4. Instead of, you know how like a king has a crown that has that, like that? It was like, anyway, so, and it was immense. I mean, it was like really, like, bigger than the biggest skyscrapers. And I just remember the immensity of it. And then from a distance, I could see through the clouds, I could see the base of the throne. And it was like made out of this really smooth, I want to say like mother of pearl, or pearl. And another thing it kind of looked like was the inside of an abalone shell, because it was perfectly white, but it reflected rainbow colors like an abalone shell. And that's the best way to describe it. And it wasn't like marble, but it was like big chunks, like the throne, the foundation was this white stone that looked like mother of pearl, but it was carved kind of like you would see marble, but it was so big that it couldn't have been marble. And marble is kind of like white and gray. This was like pearly white with a rainbow reflection. So that's what I saw from a distance. Then the next thing I know, I kind of am closer, and the clouds are right next to me. Oh, that's the other thing. I saw a big expanse of what looked like a giant swimming pool that was a very light teal blue. But what was weird is there were no waves in the pool. But it was a big pool. It was like a really big. Okay? And then I studied this out too. When John sees a sea of glass. I saw that. That's what I saw. It's like a pool of water, but the water is still kind of like jello. Okay? And it doesn't have waves in it. And it's not a room. It's not a throne room. It's a big open air pavilion. Then what else did I see? Oh, okay. And then I kind of zoomed in closer. And next thing I know, I'm standing by this cloud. And it was so dense I couldn't see it. But I knew that the throne was over that way. And you could see the top of the throne, the golden pillars. If you looked up, you could see them because they were really tall. And then I see this. First, it was a horse. But there was somebody riding on the horse. But I didn't. My eyes were caught. And so the horse was like that big. As far as like, you know how like when something's far away, It's smaller, so it was really tiny. It was off in the distance, and he was moving really fast, and you could see a rider on the horse, and it just came shooting towards me, and I'm talking fast. And then all of a sudden, I saw the horse, like, hit the brakes, and, like, he slid with his feet, like, straight out, and came to a stop. And then I watched as there was an angel of God or somebody, I don't know who it was, on the horse. He got off the horse, and then the horse came trotting over to me, and he was like nodding his head, like, you know. And then when the horse got up to me, now there's a big cloud to the left of me where the throne is, and this horse comes out of nowhere, comes kind of towards me, and then halts to a stop. And then the rider gets off, and then the horse comes running up to me. And it was like the horse was curious as who I am. Like, he came up, like, and he was sniffing me. Now, at this point in the vision, I thought this was all just my imagination. I remember when I saw the throne, I remember thinking, I'm imagining this. Then when the horse came running up to me, I was still thinking, oh, this is just my imagination. And the thing is, I thought, okay, I'm going to jump on the horse and ride it. That was my thought. When the horse was his face was kind of close to me. And, oh, I got to say this. I clearly saw the horse. It was dappled, black, white, gray. It was a gray horse. It was the gray horse. It was dappled. Zechariah chapter 6, the dappled horse, is the same Revelation chapter 6 gray horse. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, it comes running up, and it kind of like sniffed. And then I'm thinking this is my imagination, so I thought, oh, I'm going to jump on the horse and ride it. And if it's your imagination, you can just imagine whatever you want. Like, if I'm imagining being a multimillionaire, I can imagine having 10 million, or I can imagine having 100 million, right? Well, if it's my imagination, I can just imagine grabbing that horse and jumping on it. And that's what I tried to do. I tried, oh, this is a great imagination that I'm having. I'm going to just jump on that horse and take it for a ride. But the moment I thought I'm going to jump on that horse, all of a sudden the horse backed away and started nodding its head. And then I saw the guy. Now, he looked like a normal man, but he was an angel. And as soon as I thought about riding that horse, the horse backed away, and then I saw the angel put his hand out, and he said, "You can't ride my horse." That's what he yelled. He said, "That's my horse. You can't ride my horse." That's what he said. I remember. And also, and then when my eyes were drawn to the angel. Now, what I saw on the angel is he had a triangle-shaped helmet on, like a samurai. His armor looked like, it looked like polished stone. It didn't look like steel or metal. It looked like polished rock. And it kind of looked, it was white, but it had really a lot of gray. Okay, so the difference is between it looked kind of like a storm cloud as opposed to a white cloud. A white cloud is just white. But a storm cloud has white, and then it has deeper shades of gray all around. That's what his armor looked like. Polished stone of white and gray. Okay? And his helmet was triangular. He kind of looked... He was in armor. He looked like a normal man. I didn't see any wings on him. Then I'm realizing I'm having a vision, because I had just thought, I'm going to ride the horse, and then the horse said, you can't. And then the angel said, you can't, that's my horse. You can't ride my horse. And then I saw the angel went over to the cloud. Now, the cloud was on my left side. He walked over to the cloud. He reached his hand into the cloud, and he pulled his hand out. And I saw a scroll in his hand, and I saw the cloud puffed around his hand in turbulence as he pulled his hand out of the cloud. There was like a puff of smoke that came with it, and he had a scroll. And he was looking the other way, and I saw him open the scroll like that and look at it, and then I saw the scroll get sucked into his eyes. And then as soon as the scroll got sucked into his eyes, he turned around and started running. Now the horse was over here now. He started running towards the horse, and the horse started to trot, and then they ran alongside, and he grabbed onto the horse. And as soon as he grabbed onto the horse took off, and maybe 100 feet away, he was pulling himself up onto the horse. And next thing I know, that horse was so fast, he just took off. Like, unbelievable. And I don't know why I'm talking so loud, but I am. That's just, it's like I think you can't hear me. So, now, somebody might say, well, you have an active imagination. That's what I thought too, until I tried to ride the horse. And I'll say this, I was in church when it happened. I was standing there in church, and the preacher was preaching, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about having a daydream about the throne of God, and I'm thinking it's just my imagination. And I realized it wasn't my imagination when the angel said, that's my horse. You can't ride my horse. So then, when I got home, I was thinking about the vision, and I studied it out. One, if you look in the Bible, there's no throne room. It's a throne. It's not a throne room. That's the first thing. Second thing is, there's a sea of glass. I saw that. Third, I got a revelation that the dappled horse and the gray horse, the dappled horses of Revelation, of Zechariah chapter 6, and Revelation chapter 6, okay, are the same horse, the gray horse. Then I saw the angel, and he said, I can't ride his horse. Then we see in the Bible, everybody has their own horse, because in Revelation 19 says the armies of God were following Jesus, riding white horses. And I guess if you're lucky, you get a dappled horse. And if you want to look up, you can Google Appaloosa, Apaloosa, and that's the coloration of the horse. Look for the gray and white dappled Appaloosa horse if you Google it. And you'll see almost exactly the horse that I saw in the vision. What else happened? In the vision, I had a sense that the clouds were all around the throne and you couldn't see inside. But I had a sense that the 24 elders were in there, and that there was all sorts of activity going on. I just couldn't see it because the cloud was so thick. And I had a sense that the angel was on assignment, came back to get another assignment, and when he reached into the cloud, he was literally receiving from the Lamb of God. I just couldn't see it. And I saw him reach into the cloud, and he pulled his hand out, and he went like this with the scroll, held it open like that, and then he sucked that scroll right into his eyes. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I left out in this vision. I'm telling you. And then before that, a week before I had this vision, I had another vision because I had been at church, and the pastor was saying, he was praying, I pray that COVID-19 will go away and we'll get through this. And I remember I got a check in my spirit. Like, no, you don't want to pray that because something worse is coming. And I had a vision where I saw God the Father. And basically he told me that right now the whole world is experiencing the plagues just like Moses during the Exodus and Egypt, and how it was one plague after another. And COVID-19 is just one of the plagues. And like, for example, if you lived in California, you would have experienced forest fires in 2018 and 19, and then COVID-19. And if you lived in Seattle, you would have experienced, or Portland, riots and Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots, whatever. And then COVID-19. And before that, it was a trade war with China. Remember, the economy changed in 2017. So it's one plague after another. So when COVID-19 is gone, and just so you know, I was the first person to say COVID-19 was a biological weapon back in 2000. And I don't know if I put it on YouTube, but the Lord told me that China was going to release another variant, or another. I thought it was another disease, but I'm realizing that the Delta variant is exactly that. And even though China didn't release it in China, they sent it out from China to other places and released it from there. In other words, COVID-19 Delta variant is another variation genetically engineered in a lab as a bioweapon by China, and instead of releasing it in Wuhan, they sent operatives to Great Britain, the United Kingdom, and released it there. Anyway, and the Lord told me World War III is on the table, nuclear war. And then I was also watching Sundar Silvajar, I think his name. He's an East Indian prophet. And he said that God has given the United States 2021 as his grace. But he said that in 2022, I think, is when we're going to really... Oh my gosh. You guys, get ready. Nuclear war is coming. Full-scale, worldwide thermonuclear war. Okay? And then the mark of the beast. Russia and China invade, then the mark of the beast. Then everybody falls away. All the foolish virgins fall away. All those foolish people who say that, all the foolish lies, false teaching, oh my God, they're all going to fall away. Watch. Anyway, everybody who teaches once saved, always saved. Everyone who believes once saved, always. Everyone who believes it's a pre-tribulation rapture. What are they going to do when nuclear war happens? They're going to realize it's not a pre-trib rapture. And they're going to fall away. Oh, I'm sure they're going to do that to me. And the rebellion